We're back with Jamie McLennan and Jamie Artemi Panarin. He's been shut down by the New York Rangers, not because he's hurt, but because they want to protect the assets. So it makes sense, but is this not a bad look for the league, shutting down perfectly healthy star players?
It is a bad look. Now, I think you have to be more tactical when you're doing it, because I've heard of situations where you want to protect the asset, so it's asset management. But here they're just being transparent, saying we're shutting this guy down until we can move him out, so we're avoiding potential injury. If you're a Rangers fan and you bought a ticket and you want to see their best player, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do that. You can understand the thought process, but you have to believe that the league is not going to be happy about it, because, again, it comes back to, the optics of it. You can understand the thought process from Chris Drury and his management group. You're just hoping that he gets the trade done sooner than later so that this doesn't drag out and it's a scenario where it just looks poorer and poorer as the time goes on. Again, I've heard behind the scenes teams shutting players down. We've seen it in past years where a team decides to tank and they start shutting players down left and right. A guy has a hangnail, he's out the rest of the year type of scenario.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more different because of the transparency, but I understand it. It's just a tough look for everybody involved until a trade goes down.
And Panarin is a pending UFA. He's #1 on the TSN trade bait board. So, Noodles, who are the teams you think should be targeting him the most?
Well, if you take a look, there would be a lineup of teams, especially in that muddy middle of the standings, that would want to add a bona fide winger, a guy who's a one-shot scorer. If you take a look out east, I would look at, the Montreal Canadiens, the Ottawa Senators. I do Senators games, and they generate a lot of chances, but they don't have a guy who is a prolific scorer that he gets one opportunity and he can find the back of the net. Now, I'm not suggesting those organizations go for it, but, the Montreal Canadiens, they've got some room. They could probably find a spot for him. But if you're looking out west, to me, it's the LA Kings, it's Anaheim, it's some of the teams that he could be linked to as far as just adding to the depth of the group that need help up front and maybe a little bit more of a threat. As again, I come back to his skill set. He's a guy that is a perimeter player for me, but he's dangerous when he gets the puck or when somebody gets him the puck for a shot. So a lot of teams should be lined up for him. Who has the currency and who has the stomach to either trade for him as a rental or extend him on a long-term deal?
Okay, now I heard you mention a couple of Western Conference teams, but you didn't mention Edmonton. Could Panarin be a fit with McDavid and the Oilers?
Well, I think in a perfect world, everybody would want to be linked to the Edmonton Oilers, but do they have the cap space? No. Do they have the currency to trade for him? Does he want to go there as a rental? There's a lot of things that you have to take a look at. The one thing, if you look at what Stan Bowman's been trying to do, he's been adding short-term deals. You get a guy like Roslovic, and he's been trying to get younger and a little quicker on the fly. To me, that's where Panarin doesn't fit that bill, because although Panarin's a top-tier player, he's not a speedster. And, where would the fit and where would the currency be going back to the Rangers? So I'm sure it's a wish list for the Edmonton Oilers, but it's probably not a reality.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts. Well, Panarin had 607 points in 482 career games with the Rangers. That's 9th all-time for the Original Six franchise.